Ladies and gentlemen, I have breaking news for you. Breaking news, hot off the presses. Sometimes life is going to suck. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. I know it's hard to believe, but sometimes life is going to suck. Sometimes you're going to have things happen to you that will be no bueno. Sometimes you have things happen to you that are sad, bad in our context. Sometimes life is just going to suck. Let me offer some inspiration to you along those lines. From the book of Psalms, weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. Little hints on how to get over the things in your life that suck, ladies and gentlemen. Weeping may endure for the night. And what does that word weeping mean? It means weeping. It means crying. It means letting it all go, cousin. And even though we don't want to, even though we don't like to, and even though we think sometimes we shouldn't, even for us men, sometimes the best thing you can do is just have a good cry. That's right. Sometimes the best thing you can do is just have a good cry. Why? Crying tends to be cathartic for the human species. Crying seems to be a release for the human species. And I get the idea that there's some biochemical or mental transmutation that takes place when we do allow tears to flow. And if we don't allow tears to flow, we may be actually blocking our recovery. We may be actually blocking our own good fortune. Sounds crazy, but weeping, crying, really crying, it might endure. It's going to stay. Yes, it came to pass, but it's going to come to stay for a little while. It's going to stay the night. It's going to abide with you. When you have disappointments in your life, I'm suggesting that you do cry, and I'm suggesting that you give yourself some time to cry. It stays for the night. Most people sleep 8 hours. Am I talking 8 hours? Am I talking 8 days? Am I talking 8 weeks? I don't know, but there's probably something to that. 8, completion. You ought to weep until it's complete. And if you do weep and if you do allow it to be completed, guess what? In the morning, ladies and gentlemen, in the morning, at the daybreak, at the dawn, guess what's going to happen? Joy is going to come. Yeah, joyful shout, joyful shouting, joyful singing, rejoicing, shouts of joy, singing. Well, Jeff, that's not my experience. That's not my experience. Well, ask yourself, have you cried? Yes or no? Ask yourself, have you allowed that mourning period that is a specific, complete period? Have you? Let me show you a little something. It says weeping, and this really means weeping, should endure for a night until it's complete. 8 hours, 8 days, 8 weeks, I don't know. But real weeping, and I'm just going to say needs to take place, must endure for a time of completion if you want the joy that comes in the morning. And here's some help for you, ladies and gentlemen. You start off in mourning, but you can get to morning. And if you look at the difference, ladies and gentlemen, what's the difference between the morning and the morning? Well, ladies and gentlemen, that difference is not as dramatic as I wanted it to be. What's the difference between morning and morning? That difference, ladies and gentlemen, is you. Are you willing to do the weeping? Are you willing to let it endure? Are you willing to let it be complete? Well, if you do, The joy will come. Good morning. I'm Jeffrey Darty. This is New Cosmic Knowledge. Little morning mantra for you. Take it, leave it. It is up to you to move from morning to morning. And if you don't have any morning right now, cousin, be thankful. But as long as you're breathing air and walking on dirt, it's probably on its way. So now you know how to transmute morning into morning. And now you know it's all up to you. We're the last generation of real humans. Let's get busy.